Good evening, family builders, colleagues. It is an honor to be able to join you while I am pre-recording. I wanted to thank you for your leadership, for your compassion, for your love to serve my brothers and sisters who are still in foster care. My name is Dr. Daisy Gonzales, and I'm currently the Deputy Chancellor of California's community colleges, the largest system of public higher education in this state and in the United States. But I grew up in foster care. And as I was preparing for this video recording, I realized that the trauma that I had experienced during my childhood is still something that I am still healing from. And I want to call it out because it took me a while to be able to sit down and share with you in a coherent way the gratitude that I have for the work that you do. 45 years of providing hope and optimism to students, to foster youth, that is incredible. To me, the work that you do, the work that you have done, is what a family does. I realized that while I was nervous, I didn't have to look very far for inspiration. I looked on your website, and the number one thing that stood out from your board, other than seeing Dr. Nikki Jones on your board, hi Nikki, was seeing the word family on your website. The fact that you treat everything from that approach, that your goal is to nurture, to heal, to have permanency for our foster youth in this state, that inspired me. And it inspired me to share with you a little bit about my journey and to share with you from a different perspective, from an ethnographer's perspective, what I see on your website, what I see about the impact that you are making in the lives of foster youth and in the state. I grew up in foster care since the age of 2, whether I knew it or not. It's been something that I have had to unpack and learn from myself and requesting my own records from my childhood. And it's actually something that I had to do very recent as I was being considered for a special nomination at the federal level. And what I learned was this. I grew up in foster care since the age of 2, in and out of the foster care system. And what I can share with you today is you are providing a lifeline. You are the safety net. The opportunities that you give students to find a permanent home is the best case scenario, because the experiences that foster youth have are things that leave a mark for life. I never found a permanent home. And people ask me, what do you think would have happened to your life had you found that? The reality is that we won't ever know. But what I can tell you with assurance is that the work that you are doing, the fact that you are pairing foster youth with a permanent home, with a permanent family, provides greater outcomes, greater probabilities of success. So, on your 45th anniversary of your incredible legacy in the Oakland community in California, I want to congratulate you. I want to thank you for what you do. And I want to leave you with this message. Every day I wake up, and when I think about the students that I serve in California's community colleges, many of whom are foster youth actually, many who are incarcerated, I think about my own childhood. The fact that that journey, that trauma, that experience is not unique. Many of our students in my system and the students that you serve may be first-generation college students from their first family, but when they get to you, you are transforming their outcomes. You are giving them that hope, that possibility that they could become something. I had many people like that in my own life. I'll share just a few of my favorites. When I was 13 and 15, those were really critical years for me. While I did not find a home, those were moments and years where I learned that when you give back as a foster youth, you feel a sense of empowerment. I had mentors. There was a woman named Connie Rex in the Department of Social Services at the county level in LA. And she developed a mentorship program for foster youth. And I was paired up with an incredible mentor. Her name was Doreen. She's still in my life. In fact, she is like a mother to me, a surrogate mother. And she sat with me to apply to college. She took me to my first museum. And it was, by the way, an exhibit of all women artists. And I didn't even know that that was a career. She took me to eat sushi for the first time, which was huge. Small things like that. But Doreen changed my life. Other women who changed my life were my teachers. Ms. Barker, she was my chemistry teacher in 9th grade in high school, ended up adopting me because I was homeless when I emancipated from the foster care system at the age of 17. So I was 17, no longer in the foster care system, and I was homeless. From there, I ended up at Mills College, an incredible place that gave me my voice. But it was that moment between 13 and 15, and I remember this very clearly. There was a moment in living in a group home when I was asked to lead. And I didn't know that's what it was called. I didn't know that's what it means to be a leader. But we lived in a group home. There were not a lot of supportive staff. And it was very rare for them to be able to serve us with dignity, with compassion. And one of the biggest challenges I remember that day was no one had washed our sheets for weeks. It had been a month. And a lot of the students were getting rashes. You know, it is when you live in a group home, there are a lot of students, a lot of youth who show up and leave. And I remember we were all really frustrated, and we had asked several times, and some of the sheets had not been washed for more than a month. And one of the foster youth said, "What do you think we should do?" And I said, "I think I have a plan. So here's our plan. We are going to refuse to go to school. We are going to collect our sheets and leave them outside the door, and no one is going to put on shoes or get ready for school until they wash our sheets." That day, I realized that that's what leadership was. Yes, it was a little bit of rabble-rousing, but what I realized was that getting to an outcome, using my own power, my own voice, was really powerful. So as I think about the legacy that you have accomplished in 45 years, the work that you do, the families that open up their homes, their hearts to foster youth, I want to leave you with this advice that has been critical in my life. When you serve foster youth with dignity and to empower, their outcomes, their ability to dream is unimaginable. For me to be able to give back to foster youth, to teach them how to use their voice, even if it was refusing to go to school, by the way, which it worked, because you can't explain why 6 children didn't show up to school. That moment was critical. It's something that I use every day. I do a lot of mentoring today. I mentor a lot of foster youth, many who have not found permanent homes. So the children that you serve are lucky, but they are also going to become the leaders of tomorrow. And so as I look at the impact of your 45 years, that is your legacy. The children, the families that you unite, those children will become the leaders of this state, of this country. And they will do it with love, with compassion, because that is what you have taught them, because they are family. So thank you for taking care of my brothers and sisters. Thank you for finding them a home, for giving them hope, for making them optimistic about the future. You have no idea what a life-changing experience it will be for them.